But if you get, hopefully we can get some. All right. Happy Thursday, everybody. This is your host, Christal Jordan here on From Christal XO. And I had to come in. You know, we usually talk about Ready to Love. We talk about Married at First Sight. And I actually have some great conversations coming with this season of Married at First Sight. But today, I reached out to my good friend Lola and I was like, we have got to talk about Portia Family Matters. When she came on before, we were talking about Ready to Love. We had a great conversation. And I said, you know what? We have to talk about this. So we thought about it. And then I texted her after maybe like 2 weeks ago. And I was like, no, we got to do it now. We got to do it now. So please help me welcome my guest for tonight. The very, very cool. Lola, welcome. Happy Thursday.
Thanks for having me. Happy Thursday. Yeah, I guess with this subject matter we're going to be discussing.
I know, right? I don't even know. Like, I know I hit you after Sunday, this past Sunday, and was like, okay, we got to do this because we were supposed to do it last week, and I ended up in traffic, and then, but I'm actually glad that we waited until today because Sunday was a whole new.
To see more of the foolishness, yeah.
Foolishness. I mean, this is what we saw on Sunday.
Yep.
That was Sunday. We went from this to that.
With the cameras rolling, that's my confusion. Because she has exposure already. She has some kind of money already. What would make, like, I don't know much about her, but did she grow up in the hood? That's the question, is like she just snapped because cameras are rolling and everybody else that started the whole palaver is nowhere to be seen. You're throwing dishes, you're throwing stands, you're revving up, and you're 40 years old.
Screaming. And to me, we'll get into the fight. But to me, you know, going back to the beginning of this entire show was started on social media scandal, right? So we saw last year, and I'm not going to put up the pictures because everybody saw, Portia announced her engagement
to a married man. Yes,
to a married man. This was right after the Real Housewives season ended with the man's wife that was a part of the cast for last season. She was one of the, I guess, the friends of the show. And ironically, she was Portia's friend. So I think that it would be great for us to start tonight's conversation by, you know, just kind of reminding us of how this all started. This started last year. This started with the Real Housewives of Atlanta, with Fallon, who was Simon's wife at the time.
Yes.
And Portia. So this clip right here is, I think, where we should start tonight's discussion.
Okay.
Meanwhile, okay, so hey. This is Fallon. Nice to meet you. We brought a bottle, and this is my sister. Nice to meet you. Your home is beautiful, Fallon. Thank you so much.
We're so excited.
All right.
Putting on our best behavior.
Hi, ladies. How are you?
This is my husband, Simon, everyone.
How are you? You're good. Boom, boom. Yes. Nice to meet you. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Thank you for coming.
And I see you laid it out for us.
This is gorgeous.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that makes me want to get married all over again.
I mean, it's gorgeous.
Yes, we may just have to renew our vows, ring upgrade.
You know, love it.
Usual.
Love it.
Well,
Oh, yes.
I'm the queen.
ladies, you did whatever you want.
This looks okay.
Absolutely.
You know, it's been heavy weighing on me, just all of the stress with Black Lives Matter, worrying about my people.
Portia, do you want some hookah?
Yeah.
I have hookahs.
And also worrying about my home life with Dennis. It's just been a whole lot, so I'm definitely in serious need of a girl's day.
The only thing I didn't do was poke holes in it.
You're supposed to use this.
No.
No?
No.
Well, what are you supposed to do? Let
Too
the woman
big.
work. Literally.
So,
yes.
I'm going to use my earring.
Nice. Now that is a
The diamond
total
earring.
secret.
Your holes can't be too big.
Oh, I think I'm gonna do this
It
one.
has to be a wok hole.
I thought you
You
just
see
said-
my holes? They're extra tight.
Okay.
Oh, waffle.
It's tight? Oh, okay.
Okay. So we had to start there. Now, I don't know if there's ever a time when you say, okay, don't bring random friends to your house. Don't bring
Oh yeah. After I saw the first episode, I put like a 1-minute tirade on my Instagram talk about and from now on, from what I've learned, if you have a man or a husband of means, don't bring your girlfriends over to the house. Meet them out. I'll meet them out for brunch. Don't bring them to the house. And it sounds sad that you're putting the responsibility on the girlfriend instead of the person you took the vows with. But in this kind of scenario, that's what it looks like. You brought a friend over to your house, and all of a sudden, she's got her Princess Tatiana outfit on, and he's Nigerian. He liked that kind of thing. So he confused. And then, but the rumor, or the word on the street, that's not when they first met too. So it's all these kind of things. I can say, don't bring your girlfriends, at least for now, don't bring your girlfriends over to the house. Meet them at the bar, meet them outside, and then come home alone. If you're going to meet your girlfriend, meet as a couple. She's with her, and that's not a guarantee either. There are no guarantees. You can't trust anyone at this point.
It's no guarantee, but I just feel like, okay, I have girlfriends that come over, and I'm not going to, I don't believe in, if my husband is going to do that with a girlfriend, he's going to do it. I'm not going to, but I do think you have to be careful of the energy that you bring in your house.
Who you bring into your house?
You got to be careful of the energy, because, I don't know about people coming to my house. I guess you have a pool, people need to come in, but all that extra thoughty action, that's extra. But if you have the right man, he shouldn't be tempted by that. But the thing about it is this, and I think people are missing this, because this was a whole scandal last year when it came out, and then Portia all of a sudden is engaged to this man. He's still married, and people are defending it, and she put up #LoveWins. That is not my definition of love wins, but I think, which is why I wanted to do this show today, I just want to hear what people have to say. So I see people are watching. If you guys can chime in and help Lola and I kind of work through this, because I'm like, is this your queen? Is this how love wins?
It's not love. It's not love. It's like he wanted to be on TV, and she wants a retirement plan. Once again, I don't know how she grew up, but she's had this desire to always be with men of means. So she decided to trade up. Apparently to her, Dennis doesn't have the kind of cheddar that she thinks, I'm going to use the word thinks, that Simon has. She wants to fly in a private jet. She want to live like that. So she jumped ship. That's how it is to me. It's like they both wanted something. So it's not even like a clean scenario, to be honest. And I'd really like to see how this plays out, because I'm not buying it.
It has definitely gone into high drive. So she gets what she wants. She gets a show. Bravo gives her her own show. She's not going to be on Real Housewives of Atlanta this season. I'm sure she'll be back, but she's not going to be on this season, because now she has her own show. And I think a lot of people, hi Marriott, thank you for tuning in tonight. A lot of people are think she won. She got the bag. She got to the Nigerian man that, had I think the house was $4 million house.
Yeah.
All of this. So
he flies private. Yeah.
Now she gets her own show, and then we're introduced to Portia's Family Matters. Lola, my question to you is this. The show starts with Portia wanting to go on a trip. The trip out of the country with her new fiance, Simon, who I don't know if he was still married. I don't know if he's actually divorced. We've never seen proof that he's actually divorced of yet. So I'm assuming.
I almost want to say when they were filming, because I think Fallon said something about it's gone through now, but I don't know when they were filming, if it had gone through at the time.
We don't know if it had gone.
Because it's recent. Right. I think on paper-wise, it's recently been dissolved.
Oh, absolutely. It's definitely very, very fresh. But yes, Fallon, I don't care. See, that's the thing. Fallon obviously was cheating on Simon because she was pregnant and had a baby. That still doesn't say, if I'm cheating on my husband, that doesn't mean you come over to my house and end up with my husband. Like that's still messy. It's still not. That still doesn't have anything to do with Portia's behavior. Right. So, Simon is just doing what he wants. And I do have to point out that right before, in January, Simon was posting that Fallon was the love of his life. She was his soulmate, all this stuff. And then 2 months later, Portia has a big rock on her finger and she's like, oh, I'm in love. Love wins. That's not the definition of love wins. But they start this show, and Portia wants the new fiance, Simon, to come on this trip. And then she wants her baby daddy, Dennis, to come on the trip. without anybody so that he can sit and watch her and Simon. And she wants his mother to come. I don't know if that was Portia's idea or if that was production's idea. But
right.
I don't know though, because production.
I think it's true. You're right though, because they do say, like, even at the beginning of the show, there's a point where Lauren, her sister, because there are two Laurens, Lauren, her sister, said that Porsha has this she can be controlling, and she likes to place things in certain positions, and she wanted it the way she wanted it. So she wants this picture of this blended family, but only the way she sees it. So yes, she wants Dennis in the picture over just right here, but with nobody else.
Which is her as the center of attraction, because she is the only woman there. Simon's attention's on her. She wants Dennis's. I think my personal opinion is that she wanted Dennis to see her and Simon and feel some kind of way. You're right. Now, her sister has been spilling tea the entire time.
She's pouring it.
She has been, I mean, it just keeps coming out. So here's a clip. There's a couple of clips I have, but I want to play this clip of her and her sister talking prior to the dinner, where she was upset because she learned that Dennis brought a date. See, and so I said her sister keeps spilling tea. This is not about her being upset. And I want to point out too, so Dennis's mother said that Portia cheated as well.
Yes.
And she said my mom told her, and that's a lie. So it felt like the lie was more that the mother said it than
as opposed to that it happened. Exactly.
That it actually happened.
Exactly.
Whatever the case is, they're broken up. So it really shouldn't matter. They're not together anymore. Why does it matter? At this point, she doesn't owe you anything. You don't owe her anything. As I said before, I'm a boy mom.
Yeah.
If my son had a woman had a child with that, I want to have a good relationship with that woman because I want to have access to my grandchildren. However, I don't have time, and I don't want my son to have time to. No one needs to kiss anybody's behind. Like, I don't even think they need to go on that trip anyway. Again, we know production probably wants to see
for filming. Yeah.
But the fact that you go on a trip and assume that he is supposed to come with no one, and you're supposed to come with your new. If you really wanted to be about mending a family, then you would have had you come and Dennis come, and not bring your new fiance, and not
exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think when we're thinking now, when we're talking now, I really feel like Dennis and his mother agreed to be on this show to change the narrative. They wanted an opportunity because all we've heard is one side. She's painted him to be the cheater. He cheated when I was pregnant, and da. But they were trying, and they've done a good job of doing that.
Yeah.
Setting that doubt that, you know what, Portia's hands are not that clean. Not only did she steal somebody's husband, but here, listen to this. She's done these other things. Because it's like, they begin to spill the beans, like it was strategic the way his mother said, well, you cheated too. And you're right. There was a point where she didn't deny it that she did it. She's like, oh, my mother didn't tell you that. So it's like, what are they really referring to?
If you didn't cheat, it would have been
you'd be adamant. It would be a quick denial.
What are you talking about? He knows that you don't. That's the response. But all that extra glossy.
She was thrown off guard.
And she also is clear that she doesn't want the narrative that she wants is Dennis is the villain and he should be kissing her behind. But
yes.
She isn't over Dennis, because actually Dennis came out and said they were talking about getting back together in December. Simon's saying that his wife at the time, Fallon, is his soulmate, but by March they're in love. Like, come on, that's just not how life works.
But he was still texting Fallon. Like, Fallon released some texts a couple days ago on her IG, a text that Simon had sent to her. I think it was April, if I remember correctly. So there's some crossover, but Simon's playing a good tight game. Like, he's in it for a reason. There's a reason. He's got a purpose here. I'm not sure what he's playing at, but he definitely wasn't done with Fallon by beginning of the year, or whenever he said he started this thing with Porsha. I guess they both want something.
I think you're right. I think he wanted to be on television. I mean, Simon is very well known in the city of Atlanta. He has had restaurants and clubs that have a high celebrity, kind of clientele. But now he's
wants
kind
to be
of become a celebrity himself.
Yeah, he wanted it too.
You can tell by the fact that he was excited that Fallon was on Housewives, right? So they were super excited. She was angling for a peach herself. I'm sure he was in cahoots with that. When Andy did not extend an invitation for Fallon, Simon is like, hey, I want to be oh, I want to be on the show. I want that look because he's really like playing into this. Like, I don't think a rational man would be like, we're going to go on a trip together. They would call they would call the woman out on it. You're going to go on a trip. Let him bring whoever he wants to do. This is not about who he's dating. Just like, because you have to respect whoever he's dating, just like he has to respect Simon.
Precisely.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's not.
It seems almost like his hands are tied. The way Simon behaves, I guess maybe because he wants to be on TV, because there's a point where he was actually, admitting that, or his words were, it might look like she's not over him, but that's not the case. She more or less has some resentment. And so she has some healing to do, because it looks crazy. It really looks like a trio. I won't call him an under 12, but a trio.
He knows that's not true. I got one more clip because this is crazy. This is Simon and Dennis having a conversation.
Oh,
and you could tell, like you said, Simon is like trying to say whatever is making it right, but he knows this is ridiculous. This is just a ridiculous scenario. But what I don't like about this is that they're basically trying to make Dennis turn on his mom. And the only reason that they're upset with Dennis's mom is because she has her son's back.
All day, every day.
And she totally out of pocket.
Simon needs to sit down. No, Simon needs to sit down. Like,
totally out of pocket. Totally out of pocket. Realistically, Simon has no business talking about Dennis's mother. Porsha. So let's talk about the fight. Porsha is angry. It all culminates this past Sunday, and her and Dennis, basically, she's like, from what I saw in the video when I watched the show, she's lunging at Dennis. Then there's, it's a bunch of different chaos, and then she's crying out, "He touched my family! He touched my family!" So she created this whole scenario, and then
from jump,
and then plays victim. What is up with the people that throw rocks and then hide their hands? Like, where's the accountability?
See, with her, the way I saw it is like, okay, so, it all started with, Dom, the assistant, ex-assistant, who's also known as the snitch. Right. So they had a conversation at Tequila Gate or whatever it is, a nice little thing production thought of that. Yeah, let's get them drunk and let's get them talking so we can get some more tea.
Right.
So why didn't it end there? They brought it to the table and Dom started talking. And then his mother and Dennis also said, guys, let's dead this. But Porsha said, no, keep talking. And then on the offhand, you're not telling us, oh, you were triggered and that's why you acted crazy. It makes no sense. You literally instigated these people to speak, because it was both Dom and what's that, Stormy or Storm, whatever her name is, wannabe Porsha, who started the convo and then all of a sudden lit the match. But the thing is, once the match was lit, once that match was lit, it was just her screaming and shouting. She stood there swinging. You know what? She has no excuse. And the thing is, I want to say she's been on Real Housewives of Atlanta for how many seasons now? She's press savvy to a certain extent. How she forgot the cameras were rolling and decided to flip back to whoever she really is, because it didn't take much. And the thing is, when it first started, I did see her lunging for Dennis. And when I saw Dennis lunging, at first I was like, oh, was Dennis lunging for Dom because he owes Dom a fade? But Dom was sitting down over on one side crying. I'm like, how? And then the thing that really told us what was going on was when he turned to Lauren, her sister, and said, they're coming for my mother. I was like, that was the switch. Because all of a sudden, because he was standing there and just kind of chilling, and then Simon was patting his back like, you know what, let's have a conversation another time, have another time. Then all of a sudden, something switched. And so I believe that she really did reach for his mother. Something like, because she even said, where the F is, bleep, 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 bleep. I'm like,
his mom, right, his blah, 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 mom, right.
Like, what kind of home training is that? Like, there was a long time, like I think on the first or second episode, when we saw the woman in her lineage on her side, because the show, these shady producers, and at the time I didn't understand it, they had the thing where they said mother's side, father's side. I was like, why are we differentiating? I get it now, because even Aunt Liz said something to the extent before the fight started that you need to come over to the real side, the real Hosea Williams side. Like, this is the hood right here. These aren't the real Hosea Williams. They just happen to be, affiliated with us, but not real. Now I understand why they were trying to separate it, because when you look at that lineage, they don't hold her accountable at all.
They don't hold her accountable, but that, I've been around and done things with Miss Omalami, which I call her Elizabeth Omalami, who is over Hosea Helps, which is the the philanthropic organization for Hosea Williams, but I'm surprised that she's on that show.
I was surprised too. I was
very surprised.
I was
surprised because it is, and I feel like Portia consistently from the first time. Somebody said she's on. Tay says she was on Housewife for 10 years. We've seen this behavior from Portia before. We've seen it before from her, and we've never seen accountability. Every time there's an issue with
they cover for her. They
she's
protect
a victim
her,
and someone else.
She gets away with it. When she whooped Kenya, they took a picture away for once. Like she whooped her. Then another time she was chasing someone down the alley in a bunny outfit. Like I really don't know how this girl grew up.
With Cynthia, and Cynthia, I know Cynthia well. Cynthia is the sweetest person.
Yeah, but
Cynthia
she taught her lesson. Yeah, Cynthia taught her lesson.
For Cynthia to respond like that,
yes,
that's too much. It was Portia. So here we are again. It's a consistent thing. She does not have accountability in her. She does not have a bone of accountability in her body. It is constantly someone else's fault. So your blank mother, his mother is doing this, and the sister. Obviously, she's upset. I think that this is really because I don't even know if she really loved Dennis, and maybe she's still, and I don't know. But what I do think is that it angered her that Dennis would not be manipulated and controlled.
Beautiful.
And then his mother would not be manipulated and controlled.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
She wanted them to do, because it says Portia's family matters. So you're supposed to do what I say. And Dennis is supposed to be here without a female, just sitting here looking at me and Simon and realizing that he messed up. But now, he can't have
on what planet? Yeah, I do like there was a part, I don't know if it was this episode or the last one, where her sister Lauren, who is trying to get into the wellness space, like she gave herself a really good commercial because she really held, Portia's face. Like, what made her accountable, that no, you can't keep talking about his mother. You can't keep like, what is your role in this? What are you going to do? And I was like, you know what? Go ahead, Lauren. Really trying to hold her accountable.
Actually, this is a different Lauren than we saw on Housewives.
Yes.
I feel, and it's almost like Lauren was so turned off by the way things were going. You see that her own personal development has gone so much far because she is the voice of reason. She stays calm, and she's also very honest. The entire time, like no.
Yes. Surprisingly so. She's refreshingly honest. And I like that. And I think that's a good ad for her business. Like the people who are coming away as winners from this show is not the person's name on the moniker. Definitely Dennis has become this likable fellow. Yeah, he did wrong. Yeah, he cheated. But we like him. He's reasonable. He's funny. He's likable. His mother is amusing. Of course. And of course, Lauren, her business it's going to take off, because I thought she did a good job of really holding her sister's feet to the fire and say, you know what? You need to really figure out what your point is in this and stop talking about somebody else.
Yeah, I agree. I think she did a great job. You're right. If she can use this to kind of catapult her and get away from.
That's why she said, yeah. I feel like, because when you start asking yourself, why did the different people say yes? Lauren definitely has shown that she's not, under, Portia's arm. She's not just a follower. She's really set herself to the side. Dennis has changed the narrative, because I don't know if I had any feelings about Dennis before this, but now I'm like, this guy's actually a likable fellow. I won't look at him crazy.
No, he is. I interviewed Dennis before this happened, when he and Portia were together. He is a very genuine person. Now, I'm not saying that he's not wrong and he didn't do some things that were wrong, but he is a likable guy. And when he and Portia were together, I don't know about the cheating. We don't know what exactly happened on either side. But what I do know is, in his interview, all he was saying is he wanted to put Portia in the position that she wanted. She wanted more opportunities and to do more things. And he wanted to help, support her in that. Like, he was all for her. So, okay, he made a mistake, but now you guys are co-parenting. That's not a proper co-parenting environment for you to just be about you and the other person not at all. That doesn't make any sense. But let's also talk about, so did you hear the allegations against Dennis?
Yeah, by Stormy.
Portia's cousin, saying that he had sexually harassed her when she was working for him. My question is, so why was Portia with him anyway?
Okay, that's the question right there. That was my question right there. Like, if Stormy apparently is one of your favorite cousins, why? I'm assuming she has told you something. When she saw you, when she heard you were with this guy, she told you something. How did the relationship continue to a point where you got pregnant, you had a baby, you were still with him. To all intents and purposes, the only reason why you broke up with him is because you said he cheated on you while you were pregnant, not because he molested your cousin. So I don't know what is true, because the truth is I always hate to that, like, and I also don't want to give credence to someone who's like, it's a, he said, she said. I don't know what's true, but it's like when I look at the surrounding things, it's like, why are we just talking about it now? Like, it's just like something, what's going on? Like like, why did you agree to film with this? Yeah, there's so many things. It's like, it gives me reason to
all
think.
Of a sudden it comes out in an emotional tirade, and now we hate Dennis, and Dennis is evil, and he should get off. It's like, well, why did he? It was sexually harassed. Tosin T. She said, was it molested? It was definitely sexually harassed because she was of age, but she was working for him, and so if he is making sexual advances at her while she's an employee, that would qualify as sexual harassment, which if he did that, he is absolutely wrong and should not be there. But again, like Lola said, where was all this outrage before she came on the show? Where was all this outrage when he and Portia were happy and together? Where is all this outrage? Because supposedly that happened prior to he and Portia becoming a couple. So it's kind of difficult.
And with these things, when she posted them on social media, she had the hashtag Portia's family. Like, it was like if I'm telling something, I'm not gonna hashtag. Like, yeah, it's just. And at the same time, I'm not trying to, blow away and say she's lying, but it's like, I'm just trying to look at the facts, because I never want, if anybody makes a claim of abuse or this, I wasn't there, so I can't say, oh, you're a liar. But I'm just trying to look at what's surrounding. It's like, like something doesn't smell right. I don't know what's true and what isn't, but it just doesn't, it's not adding up to me.
I'm not going on a show with someone that has sexually harassed
me. That's the thing. That's the thing right there. Oh, he's on it too. It's my dignity is not worth it. Like, it's not. You're not going to just get me for that.
And
like,
if I tell my older cousin that her new boyfriend sexually harassed me, and she does not listen, and she still stays with him, and they have a child together, and they're a happy couple, then we're good.
Why am I in your presence? Why am I in your presence? Why am I worshiping you? Like, that's why I call her. Anytime I'm reviewing her, I call her wannabe Portia. Like, to her life's goal, a title of a position for her is wannabe Portia. Like, she want to be Portia so bad. She wants to chase, men of means and then walk around these Tatiana outfits. That's what she dreams of. That's all she dreams of. I don't know. There's one scene where they were riding like ATV bikes. Portia breaks a nail and everyone's like, oh my goodness, what happens? And then in the midst of that, that's when you see how shallow these two are. It's funny though. And then she's like, oh, Portia, your boobs look great. I'm like, what the? What? And then Portia looks up, ooh, are they glistening?
Yeah, that's how Portia is consistently. But like I said, I had a conversation with a group of women, and so many women, we were talking about, okay, if you could compare yourself to someone on reality TV, who would you compare yourself to? Or who do you think you have the most in common with? And so many people said Portia. And I was like, wow, but that's fine. I mean, that's fine. I'm just wondering, like, what part are we celebrating in this situation? Because some of the people in the comments are saying that this show, and as according to Twitter, this show is not making Portia look great, because every single
it was a mistake.
It just looks crazy. Like, I mean, you look great. Her face looks, her body.
We never questioned. We know that Portia is gorgeous. I can't take that from her. Her butt seems new, but that's what people like. This new butt and the boobs. This all new stuff. All the equipment is new, and people like that. So there's no question. But when you go past the skin, that's the question now. It's like, what, they're just, just birds flutting around there, nothing, just empty, just air, just moving. Like, that's the question here, is what's beneath the skin? Because no one tomorrow, I'd be a liar if I said this woman wasn't gorgeous. She is, but it's like, really, what are you going to do with gorgeous and nothing beneath that?
But is that where we are going though?
For her to be popular, yes. For her to be as popular as she is, and the way you just told me that people identify with that, and I don't want to say that as if she's not human, but that kind of reasoning is like, I didn't say you have to be, a scholar. No, but people have different feel. But it's just like, not only is she not a scholar, she's shallow. She's a little bit selfish.
Right. This is the same Portia as before. This is not a new Portia. This is, but what I do think is a little different. I think we all knew that, she's a good time girl, right? That's what she portrayed.
Yes.
But
yes.
I did not think, I am not gonna lie, I was surprised to see the level that she was willing to go to with this last situation with Simon being married still. And then do you remember she tried to come out and explain it? And she was like, oh, well, it
She
wasn't.
tried.
People are saying, people don't know what they're talking about. It's not like they think. I'm like, okay, let me listen to what she has to say. It's not like they think. People are just saying whatever they see on social media. We were together and the paperwork just wasn't finalized. So when
you should have kept it to yourself.
Paperwork was finalized, but it wasn't.
Nah,
so, he's still
you should have kept it to yourself. You all should have just kept this thing private. Like, why did we need to know? You should have kept it private.
Was exactly as we thought. He's still married. He's still married. Good for the woman to go ahead and move on. Because this is what women don't understand. It's not that you shouldn't sleep with a married man because you don't want to hurt the other woman. I mean, you should, but you also shouldn't trust that type of character. If he will be with you,
you lose them the way you got them.
You lose, yeah. But I also think
she's gonna happen to her.
I also think if you're just going after the check and he's just going after the look, then all's fair in love and war. It cancels each other out. I don't think it's right for either one of them because
not
it's
really.
going to end.
Yeah.
Because you can get butt, boobs, lips, all that, and be beautiful. But they make beautiful every day. Beauty is
there's more to it than beauty. I think if you're a man who has wisdom, a man who's made money that they say he's made, I'm still saying it's alleged. I don't know really what his bank account looks like, but it's like there is some wisdom to be had. Like, is that what you want in your house? So the next time you bring another friend of yours who is worthier than you, is she going to jump ship? Or you gonna? It's like, I guess they deserve each other at this point.
Yeah, I will say this to his benefit. There are a lot of men that really don't have a lot of concern about what's in a woman's head outside of the look.
I guess.
I'm not. He's not any different than most millionaires.
But that whole Bolo situation should have discouraged him, I think, in my personal opinion. Like, what? Like, sir, did you not watch it?
Watching her be mad over her ex.
That's true. I guess you're right. Yeah. But that Bolo situation was like, just like, come on. Like
and because she was so excited, she was like, we're having 3 weddings, we're having a wedding here, like it, but you don't even know this person.
She doesn't.
Now before we go any further, another cousin, she does have a big family, if nothing else. She does have a big family. Another cousin came out with more information, right? So another cousin came out and that does not talk to Portia.
Yes.
And this is what she has to say. We have it here up on the screen. It says, to answer some of y'all's questions, so I don't have to answer them anymore. Was I asked to be on the show? Yes, but I declined simply because I knew initially they want to create a fake narrative that Portia has a village that agree to all her BS, and she doesn't. Do you still talk to Portia? No. After not hearing from her or Diane since my mom passed, and then months later being asked to do a show, absolutely not. I'm not a seat filler. Do I agree with Portia and Simon's relationship? I don't agree with messing around, better yet, being engaged to a married man, which I told her my thoughts, and her response, amongst a few other words, was be blessed. And has the Lord been blessing me? For the record, I'm no one's butt kisser, seat filler, flunky, or groupie, never have been and never will be. And I for damn sure not one to call out of convenience. When you can't control the narrative, there lies the truth. I said that. Then she says, and lastly, anyone who agrees or condones that behavior, I want no parts. My parents raised me better than that. And if no one has publicly apologized to Dennis's mother, she puts her Instagram post in there, I will apologize on behalf of our family. You didn't deserve that, Mama Gina. I thought that was very mature of
that's
her.
classy.
Because if you want to fight back and forth with yourselves, but to be trying to engage his mother in a fight,
I don't shows that you have no home training. You don't have home training. That's really it. Yeah. If you want to fight an adult, a senior, like somebody's mother, like you want to fight your daughter's grandmother.
Your daughter's grandmother.
Like you don't have any home training. And then, when I looked at the whole thing, it just begins to emphasize. So thankfully her mother wasn't there, or her mother might have showed her own ass. But Aunt Darlene, or whatever they call her, that one that came in, like, I don't know if you know, it was a time when she jumped in and she jumped on Dennis for some reason. I'm like, lady, like, you the only senior that, like, it shows you, it almost explains why Portia is the way she is. It's not an excuse, but it's like, how was she raised? because when you look at Lauren, and this is not an excuse either. Look at Lauren and look at Portia.
Yeah.
And really shows, the different parenting that occurred.
Different parenting.
Because Portia has consistently shown that she's only skin deep. That's it. Like beyond the skin, there's nothing else, no substance. She's a fun time girl, but she's still she can't carry a whole show. They have resorted to all sorts of tricks to get this show popping. Who would have thought that? Because everybody's like, oh, everybody loves Portia. Da, 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 da. They thought, no, this show is struggling. They've had to include all these fighting scenes to get our attention.
And that's what I'm saying. It's not, there's no substance there. And I think, to our point, because, we always try to bring it around to something positive. I think that Portia has acknowledged, and sometimes I don't know if she's acknowledging stuff and because she really feels it, or if she's just trying to play on. I don't know, but she has, I'm just going to give her the benefit of the doubt. She has acknowledged that she had some issues and has bad judgment when it came to men in her past, that she was, because I remember meeting her years ago. She was like a video girl, right? So she's acknowledged that she might have made some wrong decisions and that she had trouble feeling worthy and picking right guy. And I think most people do, period. Most women do, period.
We can all say it. That's a story. We're all learning as we're walking.
My problem is there's no accountability anywhere. Like at any point, like, when that happened on the Housewives years ago with Kenya is a lot, right? So that happened. But if you can't control yourself as a grown woman and you have to turn into some type of
that's resort to violence.
Yeah, you have to take responsibility for that. She's like at 40 years old. We cannot be
with a child that she's raising.
We should not be jumping on 60-year-old people because it doesn't fit what you want. If she feels like Dennis's mom has the right to support her son and her granddaughter, she doesn't owe you anything. So we see Portia sitting here texting Mama Gina. That's another interesting thing. The first thing she did when she learned that Dennis had a girl there is she texts his mom.
Right.
Saying, Dennis brought a woman, question mark.
What do you want from me?
She's upset about the fact that Dennis brought a woman. But what is his mom supposed to say?
Like, you're trying me. Like, what you're doing is trying me is how I'm thinking. Like, she's bold. Unless production made that. No. Did she really text her? That's the thing.
No, they show the text messages. They show.
Yeah, you're trying me is what you're doing.
What the hell? So
don't try me.
And you see, his mother just put the phone down. She didn't respond.
Yeah, there's nothing to respond to that. Yeah, and I'm sure she's thinking it's unfortunate that there's a child that they have to think about, because at this point, I'm sure the mother wishes she could just wash her hands off this, because at 40, is she going to change? She doesn't even think there's anything to change. That's the first problem. So it's like, are we going to have another generation of Portia? Is this what you're going to do? Is this how you're going to raise my granddaughter? And I suppose that's why, Dennis is also he's doing a good part of always trying to be around and picking her up, because it doesn't look good to me. I would be saddened by this whole thing. It's sad. Like when you want to think about the positive end of it, it's like, where does this end? Does Portia look at this reflection and feel like she has to do something, or is she just going to always have an excuse and blame somebody else? Or it was Dennis, or it was his mother. Oh, they aggravated me, but you stood there and literally fought everybody else. Like, producers were holding you down. Look, even Simon. I'm wondering why he doesn't have second thoughts. He really had a workout that day, holding her down. Like, she was swinging.
Yeah, because she probably could have busted through Simon, but Simon is just excited to be on television. And so I don't think, because like you said, any rational man would be like, this is
I need to be on my way out. That's how, like, I'm a man of means. Like, I don't need this. Do I need to be seen like this? Do my business partners need to see me in this kind of mess?
Right. I just wanted to hear from you. I wanted to hear from other people that watch the show. Like, is this what we're doing? Is this what we're doing at this point? Is this cool? Is this what people appreciate seeing as a representation of Black women? And a lot of people are constantly like, oh, we have to protect Black women. And I believe we do, but we also like this is difficult. This is difficult.
This was a mistake from the start. I don't know why she thought it was a good idea. Because she literally,
I know why she thought it was a good idea. I have my own show. It's all about me. It's about me. It's about me. It's about me. I'm the big star. But at what cost?
Yeah, you look crazy. Like she couldn't
So-
see this coming. You look crazy. Like, yeah. And then to make matters worse, after the big fight, she's texting everyone like, "Oh, don't say anything. Oh, what? We're stupid." Like, and I love the way these little shady producers, when they put the clips of the fight together, they showed us everything we needed to know. They showed the part where Dennis is like, "They're trying to come for my mother." They showed the part where Portia says what she said. Where's the bleep 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 mother? Like, they are sure, and then they show her throwing, like, they showed us all what we needed. We know they edited that scene down to, they trimmed it down, but they showed us everything we needed to know because she was the only one throwing things. A grown woman,
and she's screaming out, "He
Yeah.
touched!" Like it almost feels like her, her energy is always at Dennis. Like she's still, and that's one of the reasons why people need to heal. If she really was cheated on and hurt, you need to heal before you go from December to March being in love and another relationship, and you want to invite your ex over and have him watch it. And then remember the picture of the three of them, and I was like, this is the three of them together smoking
that infamous
cigars.
picture of Mother's Day. Yeah, that infamous. And that's why Dennis needed to be on the show. I felt like, she probably invited him because she wanted more to get the show popping, because Candy is the one she's always chasing invisibly behind. She wants to be like Candy, be a businesswoman. But that's why she invited Dennis. But Dennis needed to be there to change the narrative because he looked crazy. He looked crazy as hell. Because the truth is, I think some of us feel like Simon and Dennis may have had some kind of knowledge of each other. They may have been acquaintances. They didn't just meet on this show. So it's like, how does your acquaintance snatch your girl? How does your acquaintance snatch your baby mother? Like, how did that happen? Yeah, well, because he had more money than you. You look crazy. So he had to come back and say, no, guys, let me, so he needed to change the voice. And he's done okay doing that because, that infamous picture looks sad.
I think most people, if they watched Housewives consistently, they know, because even when we saw the breakdown of the situation with her and Dennis, you just know, okay, it's more to that story. Like, I don't think anybody thought really that Dennis was this evil person. Yes, Portia had but I mean, and I'm not condoning cheating at all. But I'm just saying there's more to the story. There was more to the story. There's so many layers to this, and this is proof. Like, it doesn't. If you're hurt, heal. But even so, it is not for you to get with your new person and flaunt it in the ex's face on a romantic vacation. Like, that's just asinine.
And you're mad that he's bringing someone.
And you're mad
I can't make sense of it.
You're mad that his mother has
defends him. Yeah. Like, you wouldn't have PJ, you wouldn't have your daughters, you would have your daughters back.
Yeah.
The same way his mother.
Your mother has your back. Your obviously you didn't have your cousins back, because if you did, when she told you Dennis sexually assaulted her, or harassed her, you would have had her back, but she didn't. Tebe says Portia's mad at production for the way she's making her look. I think, and I say this all the time, production can only use what you give them.
Boom.
And at a certain point in life, you should be able to control your emotions, especially when you've been on television for 10 years.
You've had anger management class already, right? When she did that thing she did with Kenya. I think in order for her to get her peach back, she had to do a whole bunch of things.
So I don't know, Monica, because I don't think Portia and Dennis were in a real relationship, kind of like Kenya paying men for the show. I don't know. It did seem, because you guys remember, it seemed extremely fast. Even her
very fast.
With Dennis,
but isn't that how she moves though? Like, she moves like what they show.
She had other guys on the show, on Real Housewives. We've met several other guys that Portia was super excited about twerking on, and then they were gone. And then all of a sudden, Dennis is here.
Yeah, Dennis, and they were sharing toothbrushes 2 days later, and she wanted to have his baby, and she's da. Part of me feels like she does like Dennis, but maybe she was still mad about what may have transpired between them, one, and then two, she was also chasing the bag, because ultimately she has this thing in her brain, money, like she's always going after the bag. So, but I feel a part of her still likes him, because why are you so preoccupied with what he's doing? Apparently you have someone who's richer. Focus on what you've got going on.
You're so, because it's very superficial, and I'm constantly talking about how good I look and how good my body looks and all this. If you really have that confidence, you don't care who he brings. You good with it. Oh, let him bring whoever you want to bring.
Yeah, I'm doing great.
That's how you really stunt. Like, that's how you.
Living good is the payback.
You want to bring your girl? Bring her. Welcome. Because
Yeah, that's
it's my show, it's my family. If he wants to bring someone and you're that secure in yourself, you don't care. You welcome him to do that, because then that puts him in a situation where he knows, okay, this really is about PJ. This is really about us getting along. But when you say, oh no, you can't bring a girl, you can't do this, then it's not really about the daughter. It's really about me. It's really about
which essentially they have shown us more. Yeah, I think we knew Portia was selfish, but what I've seen is particularly her relatives. I mean, the ones who are trying to break away, Lauren, Lundy, they have stressed that they don't do what she wants. That Portia usually likes yes men around her. Like, they have stressed this more than a few times. Like, the people around her are yes men, and the only people around her are people she pays or she supports. So she's only hearing what she wants to hear. And so they're stressing that because Lundy said one time, when they're drinking, like, yeah, she doesn't, the reason why she and Portia are not close is because she's too blunt. Portia don't like to hear the truth. Lauren also said, like, she broke away. They weren't doing that business anymore because she stopped, she was tired of, catering to her. No, we're equal. Lauren, so yeah, they've told us that.
Lauren seemed like she was suffocating under Portia. And even when she's been very candid. Like I said, she actually is probably the star of this show to me, because she's been very honest. Yes. And I even like the fact that she just looks totally different. She's being more natural. And they're both beautiful, beautiful girls.
Yes,
but she's just more in her own skin, because it seemed like Portia was sucking the
life out of her, which she probably does,
because because she was doing everything. So for her to say, I'm not doing that, I almost feel like this show hopefully can be that fork in the road, so she could go on and breathe and have a positive situation
do what she wants to do. Yeah.
I was just thinking, like, if Dennis was my son, and because the good thing about it is PJ is still small.
Yes.
Well, the kids still pick up on things, but I mean, at least she's not like 11 or 12 and in the middle of all this and watching it on television with her friends. But I'm trying to figure out, like, how I would handle a crazy baby mama, because I want to have a relationship with my grandchild, right? And I want to be able to influence her. And I've learned that women really can poison a child against the father. I've recently learned that in a whole nother way. Like, if men need to be careful. Men think, oh, well, she's beautiful. Okay, but watch her.
That's why you have to be careful who you have kids with, because that crazy is going to be around your kid more than you will be, even if you live together. Absolutely. That's the truth.
Absolutely. A friend of mine said, the mother is the curator of the child's heart. And if the child's mother is constantly for 18 years preaching the father is a villain and he an ancient nigga and all this kind of stuff, the child, that's in the child.
She's damaging her own child.
Yeah. So you really have to, as the grandmother on the father's side, I don't even know.
Play cool.
I don't even know how I would handle that, because I'd be like, you need to get partial custody. You need to get joint custody. You need to get joint custody. And we just gonna have to, make sure it's everything is by the books. The good thing about this is it's all on camera. So if they do go to court for joint custody, it's all there. I definitely think kids need both sides, but they definitely need some boundaries. And I would be over it. Like, I know people want to be on television, but at what cost? At what cost to your family?
I think Liz is a good way to balance it, because there's a point where she was telling her when Portia was trying to repair her image and she decided to remind us that she's related to Hosea Williams. The good thing is when she was telling her, like, let Dennis come over when she's coming from. She's literally telling her, do this, do that. So it's like, at least she has a few people that she respects who can talk some sense into her head. So that might be the saving grace.
I'm going to be honest. I don't know if it's that she respects that or that she knows that gets her that's more publicity to have, Elizabeth Omolami, that's her family from Hosea Williams, like that.
Yes. She's definitely milking that. Yeah, no doubt. You're right.
Because really, like, if that's the legacy that you are proud to be a part of, you consider that. But that's never,
you're not representing that legacy in this constant behavior you begin to, because it's one thing to have the one-off thing and this and that, because we're all human, but you are constantly showing us they've got this hood mentality, regardless of how you look or what name you claim, constantly involved in situations that someone who you look at otherwise shouldn't be. You should be able to just shrug it off, and it's not serious.
If it's not. Yolanda said that happens with fathers as well. My children my children's father constantly poisoned them against me.
Wow.
Only now they are grown, they see the truth. And that's true.
That's
I
what
think
happens. The
both
children will
parents
see.
can do that. And that's why it's so important that you have your own relationship with your child. But I just tell people, look, get the court to give you may have to go to court and spend the money, but it's your child, it's worth it. So go get joint custody, prove what you got, or whatever custody you can get, and make sure that you show up, because eventually the children do see, but
they see
that
you're right.
poisoning and anger constantly is really, really negative, for the kids. I do think Grandma Gina seems like a very solid grandma, but what I'm saying is this whole situation is going to make it difficult for her to do that, because then she's almost had a physical fight with the child's mother. Like, at what point are they going to be able to have an amicable relationship so that the daughter can see both sides and enjoy both sides? Like, if she has something happening at school and the Portia and her mother show up, Dennis and his mother show up, and there's a potential for a fight. Like,
yeah, just off the cuff. Like, it's funny, but it's not funny. And I hope, this is why I keep saying everything happens for a reason. This show is not a good look for her, but will this be an opportunity for her to look in the mirror and really see what she looks like? Like, this is what you really look like. Will she be able to face it? Or will she just explain it away and blame everybody else for her own behavior? Because there's a part where she was saying, I will own my part of it. Like, no, not own your part of it. The whole show is about you. The show is named after you. You own the whole thing and you started the whole thing. So accept responsibility and really be serious about turning this around, because I feel that she really hasn't had to pay serious consequences for her poor behavior. Because if we look at everything that happened, even when she was on Real Housewives of Atlanta, when she said that stuff about Candy, who got punished for it? What's her name?
Phaedra.
Thank you, Phaedra. But Phaedra was, I don't know what part Phaedra really played.
Well, Phaedra planted the seed
in her.
But
they should have both been punished. Why Phaedra? Why should Phaedra have been the one to vanish? They should have, the way they got rid of it, they should have got rid of her too. That might have been the beginning of her being accountable for things she does. Someone told me something, so I'm going to say it on camera, but I don't know it to be true. Your experience with these things you say on camera, can take a life of its own, even if it's not true. She knows this.
Yeah.
But somehow they let her get away with it.
You know what I think? I do think in this country, I think beauty is currency. And I think we're at a point. I mean, think about it. So, Kim Kardashian is beautiful. So whatever let me say this. Kim actually, I feel, has grown. I'm gonna take
she's showing some substance. Yeah.
I'm taking a quick little break from Portia. Kim is a person that I feel like was made famous by the fact that she was beautiful.
She had a booty camera.
she's beautiful, and she's not Black. She's exotic, so we love anything that's not quite us.
Yes, that's so true. You didn't lie. Right? You didn't lie. No lies told.
But so she did start on her beauty, and she also plays into that. It's constantly how beautiful is this, but when I saw that she actually took the baby bar 3 times, she acknowledged she failed the first 2 times, and she kept going, and she was able. It's something that she could not get just by being pretty, and she fought for that. And we also know she has a legacy, which is her father,
who was an attorney as well.
Best attorneys in the world. So I admire. I was like, you know what, we got to give Kim her props, because
of course,
she's been able to. People weren't really feeling her when she, was able to get certain people reduced sentences with President Trump.
I admired that. I can't be mad at that, because who else was, she did that. She took that on herself, because I think there's something I read where she said something about, her children are Black. So it's like, this is my connection. Like, I'm fighting for them. I'm fighting for us. I could only respect that. I know they're not popular, and I don't know much about the other sisters, but what I've seen of Kim, like you said, she's really evolved. And like you said, this lawyer thing, really, I can only respect her actions. I can't fault her for anything. Like, I just respect how she's carried herself thus far, because she could continue to do what she's doing, but she's also doing things with substance here. So
that's growth, and I gotta admire it. I was like, you know what, I gotta take my hat off, because it at some point, pretty only goes so far.
Skin deep. That's it.
My mom would always say, "Pretty is as pretty does," and I'm like, not nowadays. Nowadays, pretty is everything, but I like the fact that Kim K is definitely putting in the work. She definitely is. Like, I can't, and to acknowledge, because she likes things to be picture perfect, but for her to acknowledge that she failed, I was like, I like that, because she's showing that this did not come easy to her. Again, this is something that she could not put the right filter on, or put the right weave in, or put the additional butt, and this is all about her actually seeing that she wants more out of life, and that is growth. And I can, and what's better than having substance and looking amazing?
Boom.
That's
Yeah.
So I do hope that that Portia will see this and there, because there's always room for growth. There's always the time to evolve. But like I said, I just feel like we have to call people out when it's wrong. Like this is foolishness. This is a waste of an hour, or however long the show is.
It's an hour. It's an hour.
It's
true.
It's a huge. It's an hour that you never get back. But hopefully it will show people that there is a real need for people to figure out positive ways to co-parent. And that's not it. Because at the end of all this drama and social media trending and the fact that you're trying to get ratings, there's a beautiful little girl that they are her reality. And that's that picture that I showed earlier. Like, this is your parents. Like, that's horrible. That's horrible.
It's sad.
Your
sad.
Parents and your grandma is involved. Like,
like it's just sad. Because I know when I looked at that scene, because I played it back a couple of times because I was still trying to figure out what happened. Like, so I'm playing it back, rewinding, and that's what I was thinking. Is like when I saw her, I think what really got me when I saw her throwing, I think it was dishes, and then throwing like a stand.
I think some of the production got hit with the dish. Some of the production.
Yeah. And she swung at one of the producers who was in her face. She swung at her, if I remember correctly. I'm just like, why? Like, you're not in, and I don't know if she grew in the hood. I keep saying this, but you're not in the hood. So why are you acting like that? It's like,
we have to stop saying that growing up in the hood gives you a path, or even as an explanation, because there's a lot of people that grow up that come from humble beginnings that don't act like that. I think that it is definitely home training, because you cannot, what children see and what they learn. And there are even still kids that grow up in crazy environments that still at 40, you're hella accountable, right? There are people that get to a certain point in their life in their 20s and they're like, wait a minute, I need to unlearn what I learned growing up. I need to figure out how to get myself in another position. This is not the life that I want, especially once you become a parent. Like, you're on television. She's on Housewives, she's on Dish Nation, she's making good money. What better time to start doing some personal introspection and becoming a better person so that you can show, like, she has no excuse. There's no excuse for that. No excuse.
It's sad. It is sad when I think of it. It really is, because I honestly don't know if this is enough to make her really reassess everything and look at herself. I really don't think so.
I hope so,
because she's never had to pay like real consequences for her actions. So what does it require for her to really stop and say? Because she's 40 now, and so but for all intents and purposes, from my observation, she's gotten away with much.
Well, and I think, unfortunately, like with this, I mean, I'm here in Atlanta, and I know there are a lot. I had a Nigerian reach out to me. Trying to book her for something, and he was like, I'll pay whatever for her, whatever, and wanted her to come to his birthday party or something. I'll pay whatever. So I mean, people, as long as that behavior is rewarded with access and money, she may not learn. Usually people learn when they have to hit rock bottom, or they have to be held accountable. And
that's true.
We're in a culture right now that celebrates
currency, like you said.
You got to look at it. Like, I remember when Black China had the baby with Kim Kardashian's brother.
Robert,
the entire, social media universe was like applauding that. I'm like, she got the bag. Like, that's always.
You know what? You're right. When you put it, really, let's be honest. Like, our value system has changed, because, like you said, the main thing is the bag. It's like, so however you get the bag, it doesn't matter. Just get the bag. So what we were brought up with has changed, and the problem is, it's like we look ourselves like, where did we go wrong? Those of us in our 40s, like, where we failed, because the people behind us are not doing what they should be doing. They're not thinking the way we think they should be thinking. So they have a completely different value system. So it's like, that's when I ask myself, like, what have I done wrong? Because it's like it didn't happen in a vacuum. It's happened. It's sad.
I think social media is a big piece of that because we didn't grow up seeing
Mm.
things. We grew up. I
Mm.
remember, and it's crazy because I have people, younger people that will ask me, "Well, I want to do what you do, so
Gotcha.
put me in touch with this person. Let me do that." And I'm like, I didn't do that. I worked.
I did some work.
for it.
There you
My
go.
mom would tell
Right,
me, "No,
yes.
you don't do this. That is
Yeah.
wrong." Like
Yeah.
I was disciplined. I had friends that hold me accountable. Like it's very
Yeah.
different. It's just a very different thing. But at this point, as long as younger people are looking at the fact that, oh, she gets to have 3 weddings. Oh, on the show, they're going looking for houses at this, $1 million houses. And that's celebrated. That's what the producers want to show.
Right.
So it's like, as you could sleep with someone's husband, get engaged to someone else's
And
husband,
still be celebrated.
and still be celebrated. And it hashtag love wins because it's not about love. It's about you winning. It's about you winning because you got to the bag by any means necessary. And that to me, it's just sad because we're teaching young women to use
Yes.
their bodies to
Bodies.
get money. But it's like at the end of the day, I know a lot of people that have a lot of money that are not
I'm miserable. You're right. You're right. I remember when I used to work at CVS. I remember it was a Wednesday. It was a Wednesday afternoon about 1 p.m. And someone comes to the drive-through in this really, I want to say it was a Porsche, and it just had the top down. And I thought to myself, oh my goodness, he's got a great life.
Yeah.
Homie was coming to pick up 3 different types of antidepressants.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's
And
like that dawned on me.
in her situation, if you were that happy, because you got the bag, you got the man that's taking you to look at $4 million houses, then you're okay with your ex coming and being at peace. You're not going at him. You're not trying to control him. But the fact that you're doing that shows us that you're not okay.
You're not settled. You're not settled. That's true. Because even when you look at them,
the guy with the bag, it's not enough.
They don't have chemistry. So that's why I don't know the true nature of the relationship. It's like, it's hard to judge what you just see, but it's like, I don't see.
It doesn't make sense.
I don't like, even when they kiss, it looks awkward. Like it looks really
like
awkward.
She's kissing her old uncle. But I mean, and not saying that there's anything wrong with getting with an older man, but
it just looks awkward.
It doesn't feel genuine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't feel genuine. So I just wanted to come on and have this conversation. And I was hoping we would get some people in the comments that understand that and want to defend it. Because like I said, there's a lot of young women. I had this conversation about a month ago, and they were like, I see myself in Portia. So You're right. It makes me feel like our generation, well, she's not really that young.
That's the thing. You know what? I keep forgetting she's 40, so
40.
she's right there. She's not too far from me, but she's far.
It's not. We're not going to blame it on youth, and we're not going to blame it on the hood. So
it boils down to home training then.
Just your choices. You choose that, because that may not be your mother's fault either. But I do hope I am looking in the comments, Ms. Jones, and like I said, I don't see people that are actually explaining, like that have her back. Yolanda says she has Arrested Development, and that could be true, because a lot of times when people have something, when you get things given to you easily because of your looks or because of your talent, sometimes you can stay in a state of arrested development. I think look at Hollywood kids. A lot of them do not mature in the same way because you're constantly getting yes. No one is telling, you're not having to learn lessons. If this was off TV and you tell someone that someone tried to poison you and rape you, somebody may beat your ass. Like you know what I mean? So that's not real life. So she's not having to actually be held accountable. You don't lie on the fact of someone trying to rape you. Like you put something in, if someone says they're going to put something in your drink to take advantage of you, that's rape.
Right.
You're accusing another woman of trying to potentially
branding
rape
her with a, like, that's a felony.
Yeah. So what do you think? How do you think this show is going to end? I don't even know. I don't know if they're going to have a reunion for this. I'm sure Andy would.
They better not. There's nothing to discuss. You know what? It's sad. I think next week is the season finale, and all they're going to do is conclude that, Portia is important, because there's a clip where they showed Simon, and I want to say it's editing and it's going to make sense next week when he goes up to Aunt Liz. Like, he messed with my Aunt Liz, because I call Aunt Liz the Don. He walks up to Aunt Liz and saying how we need to respect that Portia is Hosea Williams' granddaughter. And I'm like, well, hello. who is Jose Williams to Aunt Liz? Like, what are you talking about? Like, he said something to that effect. So they continue to lift her up like she's untouchable. So she's not going to be held accountable on this show. Clearly, that's not that. So there's the reunion is not going to say
about
anything.
her. Yeah, this show is definitely about her.
There's no need for a reunion.
Well, trust me, if it's going to get ratings, they're going to have a reunion. They're going to have a reunion. But I just, I really hope that people watching this don't think this is a great example of getting the bag. But
I pray so. Because it's like you were saying, these ladies that you speak of that identify with her and understand, I really wish I could have their audience. Because like you said, it's easy. I would love to hear what they have to say from a place of no judgment, just want to understand and then help them fill in the gaps. Because clearly for you to, because even with Stormy, to me, it's like initially I was a little annoyed at Stormy. Like, why are you idolizing this woman? Why do you want to be Portia? But a part of me begins to understand that maybe you have gaps in your learning and your understanding. So that's all you know. So if somebody can pull you to the side and start giving you good information, then you know better. Because I feel even at this point, from what I've read online, Stormy's beginning to see a little bit clearer. That Portia isn't all that, because even Dennis said it. He said, "Look, Stormy and Portia aren't that close. That Stormy shows up for like a holiday dinner or something, and that's it. So all of a sudden, how are they this close? So it would be nice to have the audience of these women who think that way, because maybe they just haven't had a good conversation, and I feel that's where we failed. In terms of having conversations with people who don't have the ability to talk with people who have some sense, because they're just going through their everyday."
That's why I literally want to have this conversation, because I feel like with this type of platform, because there are a lot of other people out there that are going to say, this is how you get the bag. Oh, Portia, she did that. So there has to be a balance. I think when we were growing up, there was a balance. So yes, you might have heard this, but you also had something else. I had women that held me accountable. Today we're celebrating about, Maya Angelou being on a quarter. I met her, and I remember I met her when I was mentoring a group of girls, and I took the girls to see her.
Nice.
To be in her presence and for her to tell me that I was doing, that meant so much to me. Like I saw women like that as something I wanted to be like. So I think that we have to make sure that there is a balance. And that's why I asked you to, to come on and we can do something on your page as well, because I just want to make sure that we're doing our part to contribute to there being a balance, right? I think it's great to have your body, to look amazing and have confidence in who you are. But if that's the only place you place your confidence, it's not going to be enough. And it's not true confidence, because there's nothing on your outside that makes you special apart from someone else. That comes from the inside. That comes from your character. Yes, you can, like I said, they make beauty every day. A new young girl is coming out. That's going to be the it girl every day. There's no way you can get, but what you can do is be the best person that you can be. You cannot have you cannot own pretty, but you can own your own sense of self and you can't, so I just have these conversations. There's a lot of women that don't appreciate it, but there are some that do. And there may be some young woman that's listening that's like, you know what? That makes sense. Because we'll see this after, you get the bag, you still got to keep playing yourself to keep it.
Yeah.
The only way you keep it is if it's yours, if you earned it.
That's the truth. It's like if you have to get rid of your self-dignity and really sell yourself out for a bag or a look,
you can't keep it. I swear it's got to be difficult to keep. I remember this girl told me, I'll never forget this, because I had a girl that I met when I first started doing entertainment here, and she was like, and I'm always hustling, working, looking for clients, and she was like, you look for clients like I look for men. Because she always had a different man pay her bills. And I'm like, but wouldn't it be easier just to
that's just stressful.
I would be stressed out if I had to try to find another man to pay my bills. And Portia doesn't even need that, because she has her own, but there's something about it that doesn't feel complete unless I have somebody that's a bigger guy to get a bigger bag and a bigger, like at some point.
Where does it end? Where do we support our growth? Where do we actually call people? I guess it is the age of getting the bag. So it's like calling people out. People look at us as, being a little jealous or
haters.
this or that. Haters. There you go. That's the word. The haters.
It's not hate. No. I love all women. I love seeing women do their thing. And like I said, I think that, there's always an opportunity to grow and learn. But it won't happen if no one holds you accountable. You know what I mean? It
Mm,
won't happen. So the only time you grow is when someone holds you accountable.
accountable. That's the
Or
truth.
you find accountability through falling on your behind. You know, where they say bought sense is better than told sense. Like,
You'll never forget.
never forget, never forget. So my hope is that, you know, we won't see this anymore. Or if we do see another I can't imagine another season of this. I
No, but
really
it'll be in a different form if you think about it. Because if you look at all these different things, people being celebrated for the nonsense. Like if you go to what's this show called again? Love and Marriage Huntsville. Like just them celebrating Miss Curry. Like it's if it's not one show, it's another. And I don't know when this whole phase will end.
It may not,
Yeah.
because you're right. That's another situation. And I've listened to, because I did want to talk a little bit about that, because that's been trending a lot. I Love and Marriage Huntsville. The ratings went up when a couple got divorced based on some foolishness, a husband that could not stop cheating. And when I listened to the interview that Tasha K did with Arian Curry, again, another beautiful girl. But that's all we're talking about. It's like,
she's gorgeous.
Like people realize that I'm not what they say, not what they say I am. They get on my live and they say I'm beautiful. She's beautiful. She's gorgeous. It's like, that's
yeah.
Melody's beautiful. She's beautiful. They're beauty. People find beauty everywhere, but we are not looking at, okay. And I feel like that situation is a little different because she's younger. And I feel like she was taken advantage of, but she's lashing out at people that she should not be lashing out at. The only person that she should be holding accountable is the guy that she was laying down with that was married when she laid down with him. Her enemy is not Melody. Her enemy is not the producers of Love and Marriage Huntsville.
Yeah. Because she was talking like, you know, so she was the 7th member of the cast who was never filmed, and she had the audacity, like she has the gall to feel like, yo, like, why aren't they filming me? Excuse me, ma'am. You're cheating.
She is what's making them relevant.
Well, I'm like, what in the world? Like, that's what I'm like, what? What's up? What? Who?
Ma'am.
That's a different level of delusion.
It's
like
she
felt
level, but I think
justified.
When I watch her, I feel like I said, she's younger.
Yes.
And where are the older women in her life to pull her to the side and say, baby girl,
no,
this man you were laying down with called you a peasant on television. He is the enemy. He is the one that didn't respect you. Not he and his wife brought this show to the producer. It's her show. You can't say that you deserve to be a 7th cast member on this woman's show. She's an executive producer. You were sleeping with her husband. No, ma'am.
That's the lack of accountability that she's showing, and nobody has spoken with her. Because you're right. It's like,
but
she's not listening.
When I watch her, I can see she really does believe. You're right. She believes what she is saying, Yolanda. She believes it she believes it. And I think, like I said, I think that's partially, you know, what did we do wrong that younger women don't realize? That's crazy. Like, that makes no sense. If that was my little sister, if that was my cousin, I would snatch her ass up.
Yeah, like she's embarrassing.
If you want to sleep with a married man, and then you take the consequences for that, right? I'm not gonna cry wolf, but the problem with that is she's not even, she has no problem with him. She's protecting him.
She's mad at Melody. I realized she was mad at. You're right, because it's like she did confess. Yeah, I don't know the time. She said up until between 9 months. We don't know when she really knew he was married. Once she knew he was married, then what? And then this thing continued for 5 years.
For at least 4 years.
Yeah, you went on. You continued. Like, I don't understand. Like, I'm confused.
And he's wrong. He's 100%.
Well, we know something wrong.
He's, because like I said, I feel
we know
like
something wrong with him.
He took advantage of her because she was younger. He is a good-looking guy. He was successful, but there's something wrong with him that he would do his family like that. Like, there's something very dysfunctional about that.
Yeah.
But so I don't blame her for the relationship, but you have to understand, somebody should have pulled her and said, this is how it goes when you're with a married man. You don't have the rights. You don't, and you definitely
like, how you talking to the wife? Like, what? What?
She feels entitled to something his wife built.
While we speak, we shouldn't even be speaking. I don't even need to know you exist. I'm not
I
saying
don't-
you have an excuse to cheat, but you don't exist. I should not be
No.
speaking to you on the phone because it still remains, still under law, you can have only one wife.
Yeah.
That's it.
And
He has one wife.
and the crazy thing is, so you're with this guy for so long. He's paying your bills because she got the bag. She said
He bought her BMW. Yeah.
He still has not made a move to try to marry you. So now
he's single now, right? Why aren't you all together?
You're not even in a relationship,
right?
At least not a public one. I'm sure he's still hitting.
Yeah, because he's constantly told us, I haven't watched it recently, that he still wants to get back. He wants his family back, but there's clearly something wrong with him for him to want to risk it all, knowing he didn't want to lose it all. He said this over and over again that he lost his family.
For her to hear that, when I interviewed him, he wanted his family back.
Yes.
Every single time.
Common knowledge, he wants his family back.
For her to hear, and he called her a peasant.
I can never recover from that. I thought that would be the end of the relationship. When I heard she was pregnant after that, I was like, oh, forget it. On national TV, called you a peasant.
Where's her mama? Not that we don't always talk about, where's her sister? Where are her cousins?
Friends.
Where are her women that would hold her up and say, we gonna mess him up?
Yeah.
If a
He called you a peasant.
I would try to mess his mind.
No, he called you a peasant, and then you went back and lay down with him.
You lay down with him again. He said that he loves his family. He has consistently said that he loves his wife.
Yeah.
He hates that he hurt her. The issue is him because he doesn't feel enough. And I'm just saying, hearing the aftermath of that Melody was the one that had the license. Melody's very intelligent.
She's a businesswoman.
She's very intelligent. She brought this show to the producer, Carlos. This is the house that she built.
Yes.
So
and you want a piece of it.
He felt some kind of way, and he had to cheat with someone that was a lot younger, but she just keeps focusing on the fact that people say she's beautiful. Again, we're missing the point that, okay, but Melody's beautiful too. He had the whole package with his wife. Thus the term coleslaw, which is not, I don't think that she should be ridiculed because I think there are a lot of women that have made that mistake. My problem with her is her feeling of entitlement.
Yes.
And the fact that she feels like the hot story is not you. It's the fact that Martell's dumbass messed up his marriage on the family, on television.
And he wanted them. Yeah. Like, so clearly there's something wrong with him.
You saw him like self-destructing. So it's not about, and she's taking that to me. It's about me. No, who did she talk to on the show?
That's right. She won't be talking to any of them. That's for sure. Yeah. She was wrong and strong. Like, she was wrong and felt very strongly about it. And it's sad that it clearly she hasn't had a conversation with
you need to figure out what Melody's doing.
So you can do it.
What Melody's doing.
Yeah. So you can do it.
Yeah. But I do. You're right. She said we all Diamond Donna 2K says we all make mistakes, but after watching her Tasha K interview, she feels she did nothing wrong. She does. She feels she is extremely disrespectful, and she feels she is not wrong. It almost seems like Martell has convinced her that everyone else is her enemy but him, and she has drunk the Kool-Aid. But he has not made one move to make an honest woman out of her.
He's not going to.
He's not going to. Oh, he's not going to. That's not going to. But yeah, the story is this foolish man has allowed himself his weakness and his inability to stand up and be the best man he could be to destroy his family. Right. 4 beautiful children and his wife. And now they have a baby, so now he needs to do the right thing. I do commend Martell for being a good father to that child. I commend that because if you mess up, you still got to man up. It's your fault. And that child deserves exactly what the other children do. But look at all the pain. Look at all the confusion,
and the confusion. I mean, his claim to fame and his superpower has been that he's a good dad. He's always kind of started with that, but not enough of a good dad to keep his family together. Like, if he really cared about it.
A lot of that is him competing with Melody. Because you saw the picture, she took the picture of them in Royal African Pride, and all of a sudden
he had one too. Yeah.
I'm not saying he's not a good dad, but I think that he is upset because people feel like Melody is the victim, and but it doesn't matter what happened in the marriage, as long as the marriage, both people are making mistakes. But at the point that you go outside of the marriage and develop a relationship, you're wrong. It don't matter what Melody did. You're wrong. He's wrong. She might not have been perfect, but you're wrong. You're wrong. You brought a child in, and you're right. As Sydney says, Martell and his ego. He has a huge ego. I think deep down, he needs some therapy. He dealt with a lot of pain growing up, and he never got help for that.
Yes.
And he destroyed his marriage and publicly. So now his children are going to have to watch that. That's unfortunate. But I just hope, my hope is for both of them. I hope Portia will see this, and something will be like the tipping point for her to realize that she needs to do some self, introspection, and there needs to be some growth. And I hope with Erin, the thing about Erin is she's younger, and I don't think that she's had all the opportunities that Portia has had. So there really is opportunity for her to get help a lot easier, because there's not as many yes men around her.
Yes.
I mean, I appreciate the fact that she's not going to like be depressed and just allow the embarrassment to make her, some people would probably go in a hole and bury themselves. But her indignant, like, just entitlement to something that someone else's wife, you slept with her husband and you feel entitled to the house
next to you. You want to be right next to her. You want to be on the other side. She wants to do sister wives with her because she was like, Melody has my number. She called, what?
First of all, you were sleeping with her. Like, there's that. So I hope, and I mean, she probably does look up to Melody, because like I said, Melody is educated, intelligent. She is savvy, business savvy. She's exhibited a lot of strength. Of course, she probably, she should be a fan at this point. Maybe follow what she said. What did she say? When God says go, go. She needs to follow Melody's pattern and leave Martell alone. Let him be a good father to that child, but get some help. But stop making the focus getting on Love and Marriage Huntsville. If you want to put together your own situation to get your own show. That's what Melody did.
Get your hustle on. Maybe that's where she doesn't. I mean, initially, she went to nursing school. Apparently, she didn't finish, but that's fine. Find a good hustle and begin to build on it.
Store, right. But again,
everybody has a boutique now.
But hopefully she'll learn from that. And she is 30, in her early 30s. But the problem is she
33.
Martell when she was really young, and I mean, your 20s. He's older. That's an unfair. He had an unfair advantage. Now mentally, he probably wasn't much more mature than her, because he has a hard time. He has a hard time with Melody, but it's unfortunate, and I do hope that she does see this. But right now, she's so stuck in believing that she's entitled to what the other castmates have. That's crazy, And the other, like, they're Martell's friends. And if they and I noticed that she was making fun of the other women, calling them
linebackers. I was like, okay, you know what? Now you need to stop it. Like, while you're ahead, stop. Like, all of a sudden she feels entitled and angry that they're not embracing, so she thought she'll blow the whistle on them. And
but even making fun of the other women that they were with, you all were all the same. You think you're better than them because you're pretty. That's it. Y'all were, if that's allegedly, I don't know what what is true we're doing. But you're just like them. You might as well be okay. So they're linebackers. What are you, the quarterback? What do you? I mean, y'all all sit there.
She's the cheerleader.
Somebody else's team, like
you're all for a different team. Yeah.
So I don't know. I hope that dies down. But she's getting a lot of attention. So people think attention means that it's a reward. I don't know if it's equaling money, but it's definitely equaling a lot of attention. And I think she is enjoying that part.
Yeah, these 10-minute celebrities. And I guess that's what makes people do things they shouldn't do. And it kind of changed the value system, because nowadays people can get attention for doing almost nothing or dumb things. And they'll get that attention, but maybe for 10 minutes. That's the thing. And then they're waiting for the next dumb thing.
They got to do something else more outrageous to get to
get our attention.
To get to that next level. I think that if women can listen, and it's like, it's not about hating. I'm not hating on her. I think she's we all have the same opportunities in this life. You know, she is a beautiful girl. She obviously has some education. You don't have to be some dude's
side piece.
you don't have
Jump
to be
off.
a side piece. And if you
Scooby
want
snack.
to be a side piece, cool, but own up to it.
Okay.
Own up to it. If that's
Yeah,
what
but Tasha K was trying to. I don't know if Tasha K was trying to help her. She was teasing her because she was trying to be very clear as to, well, you're not a jump off or a side piece or a side. You're a mistress. I think I'm like, what, please educate me. What's the difference? Because you're on the side. Like, okay, you're a mistress because you had a baby, but side chicks have babies too, right? Like, I like the distinction. I didn't understand.
I think a side chick and a mistress are the same thing. But my thing I think Tasha was trying to get her to take some accountability for the fact that she was sleeping with someone's husband. And she never got that. And I think it's important to say, if someone's marriage is imperfect, it doesn't mean that it's okay to sleep with the husband. And I think that's where we are at this point in life. Well, that marriage wasn't happy. Okay,
so,
that's for him to figure out with her.
Yeah.
Not for you to come in and spread your legs and be like, well, come up
and be okay. Well, I didn't break, because she kept saying I didn't break it up. You may not have broken up, but you're a big piece of it. You're a big part of it. Please acknowledge that.
He stood in front of God and said that he would be faithful to this woman. So the fact that their marriage was not perfect does not give him a right to sleep with you. And it doesn't make it right that you do it. But I think that's where, even with Portia's situation, that was over a long time ago. Girl, please, it was not over a long time ago. But even if it was, he's still married. That doesn't give you a right to go in and start sleeping with him. Just because if their marriage was broke down, let it break down. Let it break down. But for you to feel like, oh, well, he's not happy. Do you know how many unhappy married men there are? Depending on the day of the week, it could be all of them.
Right. No, but it's the truth, though. That is the truth. Like, you just, what day it is, what time it is, what's going on at that time. Because that is marriage, the ups and the downs.
Marriage,
so if you come and meet them down.
About it, how you get, how you think, all that karma comes back.
Yeah.
So you think when you get a guy that you're not going to get on his nerves. And if you get on his nerves, that gives another woman the right to come in and sleep with him.
Right.
Yep. So I do. Shouts out to Tasha K. She tried really hard to get her to
own a piece of it. Because I know she tried to make her apologize, and she had some excuses to why she wouldn't apologize. And I'm just like, yeah. Well, because I know she kept saying, "You're going to be married one day." Yeah.
She don't get it. She's so focused on the fact that they're on television, and that she's not on television.
I'm happy she's not on. She doesn't need to be on, because then she'd be rewarded. Bad behavior will be rewarded.
But the problem is, if Martell was fighting for her, she probably would have been on.
Ooh.
Martell's not fighting for her.
Ooh.
Think about it. If Martell went to the producers, I know Melody has a higher level than he does, but they still were the initial couple that started that show. You think if Martell was actually really fighting for her, she would not be closer to being on that show? He don't want her on that show. He want to be back with his wife and his kids.
Even today.
And she's not coming back. Melody's good. She's not coming back. She's not coming back. So Lola, I want to thank you for having this conversation. I invited Wild Woman DC to join us, but Opulent. She was busy tonight, but I just think that it's important. Like I said, we can do this on your channel as well. I just think it's important to have conversations to add some balance out there, because if every time I see something, when Portia posted that picture of her, Simon, and Dennis for Mother's Day, after being engaged to Dennis the year before, being with Simon and his wife a few months, like I was like, and everybody was like, "Oh, she getting to the bag, and I'm like, somebody has to say something.
Yeah, and we have to keep talking. We have to keep talking. And
I appreciate you for joining me tonight, and hopefully, we'll see both of these sisters do better, because we know they have it in them. We know that they do have it in them, both of them. Portia does have enough. There are enough positive women if she would just
around her.
If she chose that, you know.
True.
If she chose that, and Arian has time to grow. I hope, for the sake of her daughter, because you got to realize she had a daughter that knew she was with Martell. Martell was around her child. So her daughter,
that's true. And is looking at that.
A married man to her daughter.
Right.
While he's, going back and forth between the two. He didn't even want to admit that he was sleeping with her, how she got pregnant.
Didn't he ask for a DNA test one time?
Again, constant disrespect. So he's not your champion. He's not your hero. He don't have your back. And if the person that you're laying down with don't have your back, how do you expect the other people that are on the show to have it? Like, how do you even get to that mentality?
You need to film with someone. They won't film. Yeah, they won't film with her. You need to be
who?
filmed. You have to film with someone.
Right. Who would she film with? Martell? That's the only person.
That's the only person that's going to film with her. Nobody else is going to film with her.
And he's on record as totally downplaying the whole situation. Totally, constantly. So how would that work? Oh, this is the peasant. The peasant is here, and she had my children. Bless her heart. But I hope she gets away from him as far as in the relationship, and I hope she finds one of y'all, her cousin, somebody out here knows her cousin or mama. Somebody pull her to the side. Be like, girl, we got to get you together.
We love you, but we need to talk with you.
Yeah, let me holler at you for a second. Put the Instagram live down. It's cool. Okay. Put the Instagram live down for a second. Let's make sure that you're okay. Let's get you in a good space. You can go on live later. Your looks are going to be there. They're not going to change right now. You got some good years ahead of you.
Let's get your value system in place.
Let's get the values to go along with that, so that the pretty will be as pretty does.
Yeah.
So anyway, Lo, let people know where they can tune into your channel. Like I said, we got to do this again on we got.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Actually, you're right. You're right. Definitely, we should, because I think we need to continue this kind of conversation. I love that we will talk about it, but always bring a positive edge, which is what I like to do on my channel. And my channel is at my name. Wait, which way? This way. My name on YouTube, as well as IG, and like what we're doing right now. I like to talk about, using pop culture to kind of stress real life lessons, because if I don't do it, who's going to do it? That's what I like. I'm not just talking about a show because you didn't watch it or you didn't see what your eyes saw, but sometimes pull out principles, say, okay, you know what, think about this another way. Because what I've learned and what I've seen doing this, I've met some really great people, you included, and all we're trying to do is put out some energy out there, like positive energy. Like, let's think about it. Yes, it's entertainment, but entertainment should have an edge where, what's the take home point? What am I taking away from this? How can I apply this to real life, or else it's just useless? You're consuming like dumb calories. It's like junk food, and I don't want to be doing that. So I do see that. I think
it takes, if you have a certain level of intelligence and you keep digesting this foolishness, I think it takes you down. But I agree. Like, I just feel like if I believe this, like I said, I taught a charm and etiquette class when I was younger. I do feel like Black women I grew up, all of us have insecurities. All of us have issues. And I was like, I want to help other women. And I feel like there's a responsibility to say something. And I am a person that, like I said, I would tell my friends that. Now, I'm not going to embarrass them publicly, but and I welcome them to tell me that. I've been stupid for a guy before, but if nobody holds you to the fire, if you don't hear something, then you don't get it. You know what I mean? So I definitely think these conversations, as popular or as unpopular as they may be, because I know the conversations are never going to be as popular as the trash talking and
the gossip and the stuff.
Not going to do that. But the people that it's for are going to get it. And that's the purpose for doing it. So I appreciate everybody for watching. We had a good group watching tonight. We've been on an hour and a half. I don't even know what else to say about Portia's Family Matters, but I'm just ready for it to come to an end. Hopefully, hopefully no more fighting. I'm just like, bless the Lord. Like, hopefully no more fighting, and we can just, that show can do its thing. I think if she came back to the Housewives, it would probably be better, because focusing on her with all that foolishness it's a little bit much.
But I guess she's held more. I guess there's some kind of accountability that's more if she was with the Housewives, because the other ladies will put her feet to the fire somewhat, like she has done in the past. So that to me could this be why she decided to do this show on her own? Because that way no one's going to come against her. I mean, it's called Portia's Family Matters. I think she did
the show on her own because it's all
the
about
prestige.
Me. This is a narcissistic society. So everybody wants it all to be about me, not the other ladies. I got my own show, but it's like,
to what detriment?
Now, Candy's show, awesome. Her getting married, her and her children, it's the
family dynamics.
And that's why I'm like, Candy is beautiful, but she also has a lot of substance to back up what she's doing. That makes
every day.
Like, you got to have something. She just released. I got an email today. She got a makeup line. Like, Candy's all
She's
about her
constantly
business.
grinding. Yes.
Yeah, but it's business based on substance, not business based on me being pretty. Yes, that helps. That's the cherry on the top. And we gotta undo some of this that we've been taught. But I'll keep preaching all night. Thank you, Lola, for joining me. We'll do this
Thanks
again
for having me.
at least once a month, and I definitely will have
Love to.
options on next time, just so you get a little perspective from all of us. We all come from different backgrounds, and we all have different opinions, but we're women that want other women to be better, and we want to be better ourselves.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
yes. I'm not talking as an expert. I'm just talking about like what I've learned. And so, okay, well, I did this and it didn't work. So guys, here, pay attention.
Let me tell you something. When I went on Iyanla Vanzant, she checked the crap out of me. She checked all, like there's a lot y'all didn't see. She checked us, but I respect that. I'm like, and it made me better.
Yes.
So I'm not saying I practice what I preach. Like I respected her. I had a conversation with Cicely Tyson. She checked the heck out of me. Like, and I respected that. She's not hating. The heck is Cicely Tyson hating on me? She's telling me something to make me better. Like,
yes.
So we got to keep doing that. So we're going to keep doing that.
Most definitely. That's our role.
Yes.
In the whole scheme of things.
Absolutely. Well, you enjoy the rest of your week.
I will.
I will be back on Friday with Phil from Ready to Love. Phil is joining me right after the reunion. So you guys that are watching, please tune in for that, because I cannot wait to talk to Phil. He was obviously the most popular guy this season. I definitely
the ladies liked him.
About the reunion that's coming on Friday. And everything we saw him deal with this season. So definitely tune in for that. And I think Monday we have one of the couples. I'm not sure if it's Aisha and Dante or what's the other couple on the show?
Damn, who else? I've already drawn a blank.
It was
Aisha.
Wait a minute.
Oh, is it the other? Is it Mumi and Frank?
Mumi and Frank, yes.
Yeah.
It may be Mumi and Frank first, and then Aisha and Dante after that. But definitely tune in Friday for Phil, so we can get to the bottom of what was going on with everything. And I love you all for watching. Thank you so much, Lola, for joining me tonight. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys. Have a great week, and I'll see you guys right here on Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern.